Emmy-nominated.
I can't even believe that's being said. When Pose happened and Ryan Murphy cast me, he literally became the Clive Davis to my Whitney Houston. I never saw a Black trans woman on the screen. It became historic and it changed lives. And I see a lot of women like myself having opportunities that we wouldn't have had 7 years ago.
All right, let me do a little rapid fire with you.
Bring it on. I love these.
Favorite moment of meeting another celebrity?
I went up to her and I was like, I just love you.
If you and I get together in 30 years, what do you think you'll be doing?
You better be there. You better be there.
Hey family, welcome to the show. Today it's all about Michaela J, better known professionally as MJ Rodriguez, who just became the first transgender woman to earn an Emmy nomination in a major category, thanks to her terrific work and her nomination for Outstanding Lead Actress in a drama series for her work on Pose. But that's not all. Michaela J is staying busy these days with the movie Tick, Tick, Boom, coming out later this year, her new series Loot, currently in the works, and the recent release of her first single, Something to Say, It's Good to Dance To. For more, this is Michaela J. Hello.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good today. I'm excited.
You should be. That's a good song. I was moving to it.
I got something to say. I got something to say.
Some people said I wasn't moving well, but I'm not listening to them. I like the music and I like your song, so congratulations. That's a great song. It's very danceable.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to. I was just like, I hope people can move to it.
Was this your first effort ever at a single?
I've been songwriting for a long time, and I worked on a lot of my own music when I was younger, but I had taken a good break. So I do have a lot of music that I've written for myself, but it's totally different from what we release now. So this is my first actual single released with Verdine White and Neil Pogue and John Parrish collectively as a group.
Now you said your other music is different. What's your other music like?
Very, very, very pop driven. It was because I was going to music school at the time, and pop was a part of my life a lot. R&B, I was embedded in. That's why I'm like making sure that I delve in that a little bit more and merge the two together, R&B and pop together, because this song that I released does have fringes of pop and R&B and funk in it. But the music I was creating before, total pop. I'm talking about bubblegum, make it too sweet. You want to have a little bit more of it.
Michaela, what were you like as a kid?
If you met me at 7, 8, 9 years old, you would have met a loud, singing, energetic fool. And I mean, she was fun. She was courageous. She fell, she would get back up. And I still feel like that now.
Was she loved?
Very much so. I had a good foundation with my family. My family made sure I was protected through love. That's why it's easy for me to shed love, because I knew what it was like for my mom and my dad and my grandmothers.
Were you able to talk with your parents about your identity early on?
I actually went to my mom and my second dad at the time, and I let them know about my identity. But my mom had already had an understanding of who I was. When I was about 7 years old, I was expressing, that I was a little girl. And it wasn't through words, because I didn't have the vocabulary. As I got older and as I formed words for myself when I was 14 years old, I let my mother know who I was. And at that time, I didn't want to identify as gay, because that's just not how I saw myself, So I said I was bisexual until I had the vocabulary to let her know that I was trans. She was so receptive and so open and aware, And my second dad, he was extremely aware. He was so understanding and so loving and caring. And I mean, I guess that's because he's a Capricorn. He's born on the same day as me, so Capricorns.
So were you more of daddy's child or mommy's child?
I definitely became daddy's girl for both of my dads. They do not play when it comes to me.
How involved have they been in your dating life over the years?
I feel like that's men all the time when it comes to their daughter. And I respect it, but it's so intimidating. I'm so happy though. My dad and my second dad, they love my boyfriend. They appreciate him because they see how much of a strong man he is. Like, he has a great foundation. He has a family who loves him too. So, and they're really proud of my relationship, our relationship that we have.
And how did you guys meet?
I met him on Instagram and we couldn't stop talking to each other. Next thing you know, we're FaceTiming each other. Next thing you know, we're meeting in person, and we fell completely, madly in love with each other.
Something tells me that you were going to enjoy being a mom.
Yes, I do.
How many kids would you love to have?
Oh my goodness. So me and my boyfriend talk about 3 kids. Now I'm thinking I may want 1 because, 3 might be a bit much. And I kind of want to do a test drive. I want to see them free, running freely, obviously with obedience, and discipline. And my discipline does not consist of, the physical discipline. That's not the kind of mother I am. But obviously, like life lesson disciplines. Like these are the consequences if you decide you want to jump off the kitchen sink while you just sprayed that water on the ground.
MJ Rodriguez joining me now from Pose, nominated today for Best Drama.
Congrats, number one. Congrats, because you are making history in so many ways.
Oh my God, you don't understand.
How did you end up on this road to Emmy nominations and the rest?
Ooh, I can't even believe that's being said. Whoa. I had trained in acting and dancing as a minor when I was going to New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark, New Jersey. But my major was vocal. So I was pretty well-rounded. Acting did, though, come as a surprise, and it came out of nowhere to me. I was in the middle of finals of my first semester at Berklee College of Music, and auditions were happening for Rent the Musical at that time. I wanted to audition for this show, but go to school at the same time, and I realized that this was not going to be the case for me. So I had to make a really serious decision. So my decision was, even though this part of my life is going to be hard, because I won't have a diploma, I won't have anything behind me. Now that's not even a thing anymore, which is crazy to me, but I followed my passion and I saw that acting was enthralled in that. I saw that music was enthralled in it. And I was like, well, I guess this is the first stepping stone for me to really try to take my place in the music industry. After that, the rest was history. I did Rent off Broadway.
Today on Avenue A, when a lady in a limousine, she drove my way.
And I got my first true acting gig, Nurse Jackie, playing a woman named Lana, who so happened to be trans as well. At that point, I was just like, this is where I need to go, and this is what I want to run with, and I love to do it as well.
When you look back, why do you think you've done so well?
I had humility in my heart, and I try my best to stay as humble as possible. That's number one. And I love being a good person. I like being nice, and I also like being professional. And I think those both are great company. They accompany each other really well. Now I'm like, I see love winning a lot.
That's so interesting that you say love is winning. Do you think that is true, not just for you, but more broadly?
It's still a lot of work that we have to do so that love can actually be at the forefront. A lot of people think that love is cheesy and they don't know the intent behind it, so they don't know how to approach it. But for me, I like to be the example to show what it's like so that many others behind me and even the ones before me know how to use it so that it can constantly be a cycle and we don't have to fall into these traumatic cycles that we've always been used to, especially people of color. I think love is definitely winning. I see a lot of women like myself having opportunities that we wouldn't have had 7 years ago, let alone 4 years ago.
I so love that you were saying that, and I want that to be true.
Our home is the training ground for her dreams policy. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
You sure you want to do this? I can't let these children be dragging me into all eternity.
Gotta let them know what a real legend looks like.
Ah, you mean legends.
Hey, tell me what it was like to do Pose.
It's hard to think even from then and now how far we have come and how amazing and historic this show has been. First and second season, I never showed it, but there was a lot of insecurities there built on a lot of discrimination that I had dealt with as a trans woman before. I had these ideas of Pose not succeeding because of us being trans, not because of how amazing it was, because the script and the writing of it is beautiful, but because of us as women and women of color who so happen to be trans, no one will receive us. No one's gonna, watch the show. No one's gonna love us because we are always deemed unlovable. Instead of what I thought we were gonna get, we got nothing but love, and it became historic and it changed lives.
Retire. And dream big until till you triumph.
It's very hard at times going into a show, having to deal with a specific genre of the show, having to delve into a character who dealt with HIV and AIDS, having to do the research, having the research also resourced through you, through your family members and, you know, through people who you've known in the ballroom scene. It's very hard to carry that load and go in every single day and deal with that. Not to mention being someone who's young. I was 25 years old, you know, when Pose started. And I was playing a mother at that. I learned so much. It was like literally a college course that I needed.
Next up are the nominees for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series. MJ Rodriguez, Pose.
When I said early on that you were Emmy-nominated, it took a moment, and clearly it struck a nerve in you. It felt to me almost like emotionally it caught you for a moment. Am I right?
It's just so surreal. I feel like I'm still in this dream where I need to be pinched. I guess this is what comes from hard work, because I never thought in a million years a girl like me would be alongside these amazing nominees. I never saw that for myself because I didn't see myself on television screen. All I saw were the cis Black women that influenced me and that inspired me. I never saw Black trans women on the screen. Being number one on the call sheet and being leading actress in a show, yeah, it hits me every single time. And I think it's always gonna hit me, and it's always going to humble me too, because it didn't have to happen this way, but it did. And I guess there's a reason for it. And I'm happy because I know how to carry the responsibility.
So many interesting people I feel like I've met when I've heard them talk, and particularly people who've had sustained success, whether it's been a football player like Tom Brady or someone like Oprah, and you could tell they still access those earliest days. And there still was a bit of excitement and wonder and not taking for granted that this wonderful dream is, you know, as wonderful as it is, and that maybe allowed them to work harder, to stay creative, to not take things for granted. Michaela J., tell me a little bit about how you've dreamed fearlessly over the years.
I always say it's never about me. There's a bigger picture. There are a lot of young ones out there that are looking up to me. And I never, ever thought that it would be so many, but there are so many of them, and I'm so, so happy. And I hope they look to me just for light. You know, I hope they look to me and see that this woman is out here doing it, and she's keeping her head held high, and she's smiling while doing it. And the smile is not put on, it's actually genuine. So you know if she's not smiling, you know she's going to show it too.
What do you hope to do next? What would bring you joy? What would be your next dream?
My next dream is to finish to work on and finish an album, to have a piece of content or a catalog out so that people can get a whole full gist of who Michaela J is, and you know who she is outside of MJ and who she is outside of Blanca, and get to see the person who really delved into these people and delved into the persona of MJ Rodriguez, who's the actress. You know, I want them to see, I want them to hear my music and see what represents Michaela J. And also, I would love to delve into my film debuts and
I love that. Hey, take me back to Newark, because I am personally fascinated by Newark for so many different reasons. How did you experience Newark growing up?
When I was growing up, there was a lot of poverty here in Newark. I mean, now there's not that much poverty here in Newark. Newark has flourished so beautifully. There are times when I go downtown and I'm just like, oh my God, it's so beautiful over here. Like, there's so much that's changed. But growing up in Newark, for me, it was in between. I had my hard times, but for the most part, I had very, very amazing times. I had the life of the kid that, you know, I got to play outside. And when the street light went off, I had to go my ass outside. You know, like, I got to enjoy that kind of liberation and freedom. And I feel like that only usually comes, I'm not going to base this off of, you know, race, but it feels specifically like that happens within the culture of African-American culture and Latina culture. You know, the kids go outside, the family stays in the house, you know, they cook, you come inside and you go to sleep. Television wasn't even really a thing back in the day. And in Newark, New Jersey, that's how it was rooted. And it's a beautiful place to grow up in. So I had a wonderful, wonderful journey. That set the tone for me. When Pose happened and Ryan Murphy cast me, he literally became the Clive Davis to my Whitney Houston. That just made me realize how strong and how much faith I had in my hometown.
Did you feel like you grew up more in a Black community in a Latina community, in a mix of both?
I grew up in a more Black household, Black community. I do, though, make sure that I see, the people in my family who are Latina, who are Latino, and I just give love whenever I need to, because I am afro-Latina. I feel like the Latina community tells me I do a lot of work, but I feel like there's still much more that I need to do. So I'm always making sure that I speak up. I always speak about intersectionality because I have so many intersectionalities. I'm Black, I'm Latina. I just found out there's another part of me that's Caucasian too, because my mom's dad was Caucasian. We need more diversity. I'm here to fight for my rights as far as a person of color and for the Black Lives Matter movement, for the movement of Black people, for the movement of people of color. But there still needs to be more diversity. That's my goal.
Most beautiful place you've ever been?
South of France, gorgeous. And Monaco. It's ridiculously beautiful over there. It's like blue freaking water, cliffs all the way up. I love living in the mountains. I'm a Capricorn. So that ghosts love to live up in the mountains. Beautiful, beautiful.
Hotel girl or Airbnb girl?
Airbnb girl all day. I like a hotel here or there, but Airbnb girl.
Where would you love to travel next? If you could get a ticket anywhere, where would you love to travel?
I would love to travel to Africa. I first want to go to South of Africa, see what that's like, and also Puerto Rico, because I've never been to my own part of the world before. But, I love you, Puerto Rico.
All right, let me do a little rapid fire with you.
Bring it on. I love these.
One of your favorite Latina or Latino heroes?
Celia Cruz.
Your favorite book?
Wicked.
Oh, you pulled that out. Okay. Your favorite movie?
Harry Potter.
Gryffindor!
Your most favorite moment of meeting another celebrity?
The first time I ever met Janelle Monáe, she's now my sister, my big sis, and I love her. But the first time I met her, I completely fanned out. I crushed out. I kind of was at a loss for words, how I am now. I went up to her and I was like, I just love you. And thank you for letting me come to your concert. And she was like, I love you too. And we just gave each other a hug and we took a picture. And that picture is still loaded in the picture that comes up on your phone when you call. I still have that picture there.
If you could meet anyone, who would you love to meet next?
Beyonce. I almost had the chance of meeting her at Janelle Monáe's party. And I think it's time that I meet the queen of pop.
Oh, we need to try and help make that happen. I like that. What would surprise people to know about you?
People would be surprised that I put ketchup in my spaghetti.
Ooh, I don't think I would do that. But why do you do that?
I just it's another part of the tomato kind of taste that you can add to it. And ketchup is sweet. I just put a little bit in and turn that up real quick.
If you and I get together in 30 years, what do you think you'll be doing? Where do you think you'll be living?
Looking back on the life that I created for myself and the life that I wove together for people behind me, for the young ones that I'll get to see who will be 17 and figuring themselves out in totally different types of ways than I probably would think. We'll be sitting there at the mansion, probably in Monaco, on the cliff, looking above, do you see that water? Do you remember when?
Hey, do not forget my invite. I'm going to look forward to that. That sounds good.
You better be there. You better be there.
Hey, Michaela, thank you so much. Congratulations. And I hope I get a chance to meet you in person. If not, I'll see you in 30 years.
Yes, indeed. I'm holding you to it.
Please do. Please do.
Okay.
Okay. Be well.
See you, Carlos.
She went to Berklee School of Music. That's ridiculous. That's amazing. You know what I mean? I think as a musician myself, I'm that's amazing talent. And she's a ball of talent and personality and heart. And I think that's missing in this world.
She had such great energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was super cool.
I like when she said love is winning.
I like that throughout the conversation, I felt like that was the reoccurring theme. That was the main thing that she was trying to get across. And I think that comes back into, especially her conversation about her parents and the amount of support that they gave her.
The way you asked her if she had the language, I think that language it's an important aspect of coming to terms with who you might be. You don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know, what to call something, when I was coming up, there were very few trans people in the public eye. So it was a very taboo subject. So I think it's wonderful for the younger folks coming up that it's not as taboo as it once was, and there can be more acceptance, and then therefore we can emerge as the wonderful people we are.
Hey, really hope you enjoyed Michaela J. I loved meeting her. Love that idea that love is winning. All kinds of goodness involved in that. Really appreciate all the good support she's had in her life. All right, thanks to Michaela J. for stopping by, and thanks to all of you for watching the show. Be safe, be well. We'll see you on the other side.
It's still the night shift, just brighter. Still a night out, but everything fits in. Chevrolet, making life's journey just better.
We don't know what our kids are capable of because their education sometimes is so limiting, particularly in Black and brown classrooms. There's always an emphasis to me on body control. You can go into a very affluent white classroom and the kids are moving around the room and talking and there's lots of activity, and you assume that something magical is happening. You go into a Black classroom and the kids are moving around and interacting with each other, and it's perceived very differently, right? Immediately someone thinks that teacher doesn't have classroom management skills. But I think it's also kind of limiting what we allow our kids to have access to. And we want to invite students to tell us, what are you curious about? If you have a hook and a kid is really excited about a particular subject or some sort of content, lean into the things that they do well so they build the confidence they need as students to tackle the things that are a little more challenging.
Shockingly, 14 million students are in schools with police, but no counselor, nurse, psychologist, or social worker. And 2 out of every 5 students say they feel unsafe with police officers in school, which begs the question, who are they protecting?
It would be a better country for all of us if Black children and white children got equal educations and had equal opportunities.
So what has the last year done? Because there were more conversations about race than I remember in my life during the Black Lives Matter protests. Has that changed in your experience?
I think in some ways, obviously it's better because of awareness, and especially with social media, you know, it has its flaws, but it's bringing things to like more attention to important issues. But for me, it kind of feels like it's worse because now I feel like any of my white friends or people at work, they're walking around eggshells around me because they're afraid that anything they're gonna say is offensive. Or when I say, hey, like this is actually a microaggression, or this feels kind of ignorant, like I'm trying to let you know, it's instantly, instead of, hey, I apologize that I did those things and here's how I'm going to change. Now it's like defending, I'm not racist, I'm not like this, I'm not like this and this and that. It almost seems like they feel like the finger is pointed at them and everybody's walking around eggshells and can't have that conversation because they're so afraid to be called out for something negative.